Hey, how you doing? This is Jakim Muhammad with the Hard Talk with Jakim. Listen, I'm in Wilmington, Delaware. Today is September 20th, 2019, and we're actually going to film part one of the Black Boule. Now, this actually goes to all over the country with mid-sized cities or big cities. I just want you to pay attention to what's going on. First of all, I have to say this. If you're not a free-thinking Delawarean, you need to leave this video now. It's going to offend you. This ain't for you. So, if you're not a free thinker, leave now. Don't worry about it. Try to cancel Jakim out like you try to cancel all the people out and all the people that try to give you the truth. That's all right by me. We do our thing. But, and here's my but. If you are black, white, gay, straight, other, or any other thing that got some intelligence in that brain and some doggone common sense, this is a video for you. So if you got some intelligence and you got some common sense, this is your video. So first of all, I would like to introduce the way that I do things is that I don't really attack people. There's some people that you gotta attack because I don't want to be a lovey-lovey, dovey-dovey. I want people to understand that if they are going against the collective, they are going against what is right in the world. But my perspective is a human perspective. My perspective is the human collective. And my perspective is also a black perspective. I'm a black man, so I'm going to tell you from my perspective. So that's the reason why I go with what I do. I mainly go against issues, policies, philosophies, and what other crap. Your opinion don't matter to me. Just like my opinion don't matter to you. Don't really matter to me. But what does matter is the human collectiveness. That matters to me. The other thing is that everybody has a right to pursue happiness. Everybody has a right to pursue happiness. If your happiness is being a puppet for the system, then go with peace. I got no problem with that. But if your happiness is that everybody has a voice, your happiness is that everybody gets to talk, and that no one is idol worshipped, especially elected officials. I don't have to tell you anymore, stop worshiping elected officials. They are not idols to be worshipped. They are your employees. You are the employer. As long as you're voting, and as long as you're being part of the process, they are your employees. You are the employer. So let me just get you started. Be right back. All right, y'all, listen, I'm back inside right now. In fact, I actually have to be going out to something else, and I've told y'all earlier, y'all got to be ruthless with your time. So we're just going to go right back to the Black Boule. We're going to get back into that. I was out earlier during the day in Wilmington, met some incredible people, helped the young lady on the 14 bus go back to Dunleavy, going into that situation. So let me just bring it here. Let me just break down to you on how I work things. Before I get involved in anything, I have to know that it's going to help the collective, the human collective. You probably heard me say that before, because if it's not about helping the human collective, it's not worth doing. Let me repeat that. If it's not about helping the human collective, it's not worth doing. Because my perspective is a perspective of a black man. And if it don't help the black perspective, it's not worth doing. Now, before I go further into what I call the Wilmington Boule, they already know who it is. You remember, this ain't the video for you. If you don't like it, if you never was a supporter of Jakim Muhammad or any other people who was telling the truth, who was giving honest analysis, this ain't for you. If you are intelligent, whether you white, black, Latino, gay, straight, Indian, whatever, if you have some intelligence in your brain and you got some common sense, this is for you. Now, a couple of years ago on the Route 9 corridor, we had a couple of shootings. And one of the things that I used to say when I used to go to some of these civic meetings is that it's none of my kids doing the shooting. None of my kids or my relatives are doing the shooting. Y'all know who's doing it. And y'all know why they're doing it. and you know that these people who have been in power, if you've been in a power position for the last 14, 15, 16, 17, 20 years, you're partly responsible for what's going on. Whether it be in Wilmington, whether it be in Dover, whether it be in Camden, whether it be in Minneapolis, St. Paul's, you're partly responsible. Because what's happened is that you did not take the reins. Unless you can show me some history saying that you was out there fighting a good fight. And nowadays you have that history. That's what digital and social media is different. Is that I'm going to tell you, a lot of you people who are in power, history is not going to be kind to you. It's going to show what you did. It's going to show the minstrel show. It's going to show the sellout. I'm telling you, that's the difference between now and 1989 or 2012. That's the difference. History is going to be able to be digitally pulled back. Remember, if you have the word digital, that means storage. And it's going to show what you did. That's why they're so afraid of their politicians and elected officials are so afraid that you might go back and look at what they done. Look at how they voted. Look on how they put things out. They scared of that. They're not here for black middle class or black poor. They're not here for white middle class or white poor. They're not here for Latino, black, middle class. Or Indian, whatever you are. They already shown that they're not here for you. They're here for them. They're here for what they want to do. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some great ones out there that's fighting the fight. There's some great people out there that have fought the fight. And you can see it in their record. You can see it in their voting pattern. You can see it in the legislation that they put forth that didn't get passed. You can see it. One of my great ones I like is James Johnson. JJ. Mr. Representative J.J. Johnson put some great ones, great stuff out. So I'm going to give him a shout out because I'm always dogging some people, but I'm going to give him a shout out. And let me tell you something. I don't dog people. I dog policies. I dog your philosophy. I dog the way you coming out with your stuff. I don't really dog people because Jakim Muhammad don't really care about you. You don't care about me. I don't really care about you. That's what having an opinion is all about. I want more people to have a voice. I want more people's voice to come out. Now, let me just go on something that may go and piss you off too. Now, I have a lot of conservative friends, and I have a lot of liberal friends. So-called conservative, so-called liberal, so-called progressives, all that crap. I don't consider myself any of those. I consider myself for the human collective. For the humankind. I don't consider myself any of those boxes. Some people may say I am. Even when I ran for something, they said I was very progressive. Yeah, and I don't mind that. That doesn't matter to me. The labels don't matter to me. But what really matters to me is the game and the pimping that goes on. Whether it be from the far right or whether it be from the far left. My problem with a lot of liberals is that they complain about the establishment and do exactly the same thing the establishment did to them. And then they want to complain about it. They want to complain that they can't get a vote in. They can't get a candidate in. They can't do. But I've seen you do the same thing to other people and constantly do it. Constantly coming to neighborhoods and trying to stir up the pot on things that you have no idea about. Put a brown face or a black face in front of people and think that they are from the neighborhood. They're not. They don't even know how to rock with them. They don't even know how to roll with them. Believe you me, I've seen people. I've got stories. We're writing a book now where I got stories on how you can be tricked by both the right and the left. Now, let me just give it, since I was on the left, let me go on to the right. Most of our people that's on the other side, whether they voted for Trump, and this will be the last time you hear me say Trump, whether they voted for Trump or the conservative side, most of them think that some way, somehow, that's going to trickle down to them. And we've already seen the studies that usually it just stays up at the top and don't trickle down to your family members. If you can't get a family member a $32,000 job, which is kind of poor, or something, then you really got no power. Even though you think you have power, you really don't have any power. You're just a puppet. So whether you be a puppet for the right or whether you be a puppet for the left, what I am is I always think about what is important for the human collective. And we got to start thinking about that, because history is not going to be kind to a lot of us. History is going to show that you were on the side. When grandkids look at this thing in 2074 and 2085, they're going to say, man, that person was on the wrong side of history. That person was the sellout that we thought they were. As much as I used to hear that grandma wasn't a sellout or granddad wasn't a sellout, guess what? Your kids gonna find out you're a sellout. So this is just part one of the Boule. Not picking no fights with anybody, because I couldn't care less anyway. But not picking any fights with anybody because, when you're cock diesel, getting out there doing your thing, you don't really care about what's going on. You really aimed at what you need to get done for your community. If y'all was doing the right thing in the community, you wouldn't have any Jakim Muhammad's or other people that's coming out there for you. So I need y'all to get your stuff together. I got no ill will. Get your stuff together, because history is not going to be kind to you. Peace.